All right, guys, what is up? You are back for another video with DataZero. This is your daily outlook prediction for stocks and crypto. This video is not financial advice, should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence before buying any stock or crypto asset. That being said, let's go ahead and hop in the charts, facts, data, showing you what is going on based off of my research and due diligence. We're going to be looking at SPY, Bitcoin, crypto, AMC, GME, the meme stocks. You already know the deal. If you are new to this channel, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for accurate predictions, news, and TA for stocks and crypto, multiple plays, and I go live all the time covering different assets as well. So GME recently got talked about here by Michael Burry. Michael Burry shared a conversation between him, Ryan Cohen, and Roaring Kitty. He added a little bit of context on that. You guys can check that out on Michael Burry's Twitter/X and on mine as well. But not to be left out, ladies and gentlemen, AMC also getting in the mix as well. As you guys can see, Michael Burry posting AMC's chart here in the corner. If you guys look very, very closely, you guys can see that's AMC's chart here in the corner of Michael Burry's official Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it. This is his official profile, and it is on the banner of it. So again, he is talking about the meme stocks, adding speculation as well and putting a spotlight on the meme stocks. Shout out Michael Burry for doing that. Again, it's just speculation at this point. We don't know why he's doing this, but this is something that you should be aware of as an AMC and GME order. We also have some decent news coming out here for AMC as well. As you guys can see, Adam Aron recently announced that over 200 US theaters will be showing the Stranger Things finale. This is going to help bring people into the theaters and also help us not solely rely on the box office. This is bullish, and of course we have bullish box office movies coming out like Avatar and all of those things as well. So AMC is looking bullish heading into December. The one thing that we do have to worry about is coming up next week, though. Next week is going to be insane. It's going to be one of the most wild weeks we have seen in a long time. We have a Fed interest rate decision, we have multiple data drops, but also affecting the meme stocks, and the interest rates will greatly affect the meme stocks as well. But we also have Q3 earnings here on December 9th after hours for GME, and then AMC has the proxy vote December 10th. So 9th and 10th, it's going to get crazy, ladies and gentlemen, for stocks and crypto in general, and especially the meme stocks, because we have added catalysts on top of it. So next week's going to be insane. Get ready for that. Now, as far as technicals are concerned, what we're seeing here on AMC and GME, I'm going to break that down for you guys right now. So AMC did have to come down to 225. I told you guys 230, 225 is where I think we're going to be bottoming on AMC. AMC, I believe, is going to be able to hold 225, but we might see a little bit more downside tomorrow before pushing to the upside. But tomorrow is heading towards the end of the week, and that is when I'm expecting AMC to start trying to push towards the upside. Now, they're going to try to push it down heading into that December 10th vote, but I think a lot of the dilution and things got priced in. Of course, they can't price everything in, but I think a lot of the fear and everything got priced in, and that's why we saw AMC dump down to that low of 204. We are now above the sloping support and resistance, and I believe we could easily see a continuation to the upside, especially if AMC is able to hold that $2.25 level. I believe what we're going to see is AMC start to flatten out around this range and then continue back to the upside. So again, I do think we could start pushing up even heading until December 10th, and even after December 10th, especially on how things go. In my personal opinion, I think it is going to be a yes vote, but if we were to somehow get a no vote, in my personal opinion, I think we could see the stock rally, because that would call off all of that dilution that potentially got priced in. People got shaken out. People might buy back in. So if we got a no vote, I think things could get crazy. And we're right around the margins based off of the analysis that I collected that we could potentially get a no vote, but it is very, very, very close. I did a poll kind of seeing where retail was. I figured that most of the institutions are going to be voting yes. But retail, almost 80 to 90% of retail is what we needed, is voting no based off the poll that I took anyways, which is a smaller sample size, and it might be biased because it is from my channel, but I put it on Twitter, I spread it around to try to get the biggest sample size I could, and we are right around that 80 to 90% of people voting no. So as long as we're on that united front, we might have a chance for a no vote. Now, interestingly enough, GameStop is moving to the upside. We do have this fractal in play here for GME as well. and we have a falling wedge in play for GME. The falling wedge is going to take us back to like $25, $28 around that wedge. We also have multiple gap fills to the upside, and we have this potential fractal in play as well, which could see us pulling back and then pumping to the upside. We also have multiple indications that GME is about to rally, and if GME does a double beat on earnings or does well on earnings, you're going to see this thing explode. So next week, things could get crazy here for GME. We already see GME start to push up. RSI kind of cooling down right now, but we're still in that overbought, frothy territory. We're starting to build some bearish momentum. So if we did pull back, it's not the end of the world, and we do have that gap fill to the downside that I talked about in yesterday's video. So you could see GME pull back down to about 2204, 177, around those levels. That's right around where the gap fill is, and then get a pop back to the upside. We also have some buy orders around that level as well, which is something I found interesting. You guys can see that there's buy orders here at about 2230 all the way down to about 2204, right where that gap fill is. So I believe that we could see GameStop go a little bit higher, top out, pull back, and then launch to the upside. And if we get that earnings catalyst, that could be very, very bullish to see GME continue to the upside, including into next week, heading back towards $28 or $30. Now, GME warrants have been getting crazy, ladies and gentlemen. These things are up, hitting a high of $4.47. They've been absolutely surging off of the low of $2.53. So this is very, very bullish as GME heads closer and closer and closer to $32, especially doing it so soon because we still have a lot of time on those warrants. Those warrants are going to gain much more intrinsic value, and they could absolutely explode if GameStop breaks past $32, say $40 or $50. Those warrants would be worth a ton, ladies and gentlemen. So congratulations, especially if this thing does continue up. What I'm expecting, though, from GameStop, probably heading into Thursday and Friday, is we're probably going to start to see a little bit more bearish momentum grow where we could potentially pull back. But if GameStop is able to hold 23.15, which I don't think we're going to be able to hold, but if we did, you could see a decent pop to the upside. But even if we did get that pop to the upside, I would expect a pullback. What I'm thinking more likely is going to be the case is 23.15 is going to be used as resistance. We're going to have to start pulling back down to that gap fill level, fill that gap, and then heading into next week and heading into earnings, we could see GameStop really start to move back up and potentially make a nasty pop to the upside. So this is what I'm looking at for tomorrow. Here's my prediction for tomorrow. I think we're going to close around like $23, $23.10. Then we're going to push to the upside and pre-market, drop down using 23.03 or 22.90 as support, and then maybe move up from there. But I think we could start seeing GameStop start to show a little bit signs of bearishness. So if we do pull back, don't freak out. AMC's kind of been decoupled from GameStop a little bit. I think AMC is going to be able to hold that 225 level and be able to push up off of that, heading back towards like 230, 240 in my personal opinion. If AMC were to lose 225 though, we would head down to about 215 or 212 where we have some support, but I don't think that's going to be the case in my personal opinion. And we also have some support here at $2.20 even. So this is what we're looking at for the meme stocks. AMC's dark pool was insane today. That's kind of why AMC was barcoding 78% here at time of recording on that dark pool. They were also been shorting shares. Right now, AMC short shares are low. They're at 1.4 million, and they've been kind of low as of lately. Cost to borrow sitting at 0.48%. Want to see that cost to borrow go higher. If you see it 1% or higher, that is bullish. But right now, at time of recording, they have 1.4 million short shares. And then for GameStop, they have 4.8 million short shares at a cost to borrow of 0.55%. Cost to borrow slightly going up here for GME, and it's been spiking lately, so watch for potential spikes on cost to borrow. If GME cost to borrow stays up, that is definitely very, very bullish that something is going on in the background. I also think that the warrants are going up, means something bullish is going on in the background. Let's go ahead and move into SPY in the overall market, show you guys what's going on there, and then we're going to go into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. We're going to be talking about XRP, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, and showing you guys some news with that as well. So right here for SPY, we're starting to pull back in the close, which is what I'm expecting. You guys can see I kind of have this white dotted line prediction here where we're a little bit lower heading in the close. So I'm expecting SPY to pull back a little bit here. But in my personal opinion, I think that SPY is setting up for a potential nasty move. Now, we could even see a drawdown all the way to like 683.50, right? But once we pull back, I think we're going to have a slight pullback. I think SPY is about to rip, okay? So I think SPY is going to be going to at least, and I gave price targets in the Discord earlier than this, so make sure you guys are in the Discord and paying attention. I put out a signal as well, so you guys could have took advantage of that if you're in the Discord. If you want to get in the Discord, hit me up on my email, DataZeroOfficial5, $100 for a lifetime invite, payment made via PayPal or Cash App. Once you send the link, I'll send you, once you send the payment, I'll send you the link. But I think SPY is going to be going to about 685, 88, 686 in my personal opinion, and that's going to be happening this week as SPY is breaking out of this overall bullish structure that it's been in. You guys can see right here, the MACDs are starting to curl up. We're above the blue medium line. We're kind of popping outside of the bands right now. We have this bullish structure after we had this move to the upside, this bullish consolidation. So I think SPY is going to be pushing up and could potentially go as high as making a new all-time high. But I think the price targets that I gave here at 685, 88, and 686 are very safe. And I think those are going to be hit by Friday in my personal opinion. We also see that NASDAQ is tracking with my prediction as well, and my prediction shows that NASDAQ's going to be pushing up to fill this gap. We are losing momentum, as you guys can see, but we are not completely red. So there is a chance that once we pop to the upside, we could pull back. So I'm not extremely bullish, and that's why I gave those safe price targets. But we're definitely going to see a move to the upside in the overall market, in my personal opinion, based off the technicals that we're seeing here. So I think SPY is setting up for that green week that I talked about on the weekly outlook and prediction. I told you guys we're going to be having that green week, and I think those price targets that I gave are very, very safe. We're already heading towards that 685 price target that I gave in the weekly outlook and prediction. I think we could see a little bit of drawdown here heading into close, and maybe even heading into the morning. But I think SPY will be able to find support even if it does pull back and then push to the upside. As long as it holds like 684, 683.50, you're going to see a continuation to the upside towards that 685.88 or 686. So this is what we're looking at for SPY in the overall market. Just remember, next week we do have some major data drops as well, and then we do have some data drops coming out here on Friday. ISM Services PMI came out today, and it came out slightly higher than market expectations. So this is what we're looking at for SPY in the overall market. Let's go ahead and move into Bitcoin and crypto, show you guys what's going on there, and then we will wrap up this video. So I recently posted this tweet here about XRP. Inflows are insane, and I talked about this in my last video as well. When you see all of these bullish things happening in the background, but prices going down and all of this fear, that is a sign to be bullish in my personal opinion. You guys can see crypto fear and greed, not in extreme fear, but now in the fear. Again, be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful. So when you're in extreme fear, it's time to be extremely greedy. When you're in fear, it's time to be greedy. So buy signals on the fear and greed, in my personal opinion. Anytime you're in that deep fear or extreme fear, those are buy signals. We also have the fractal here for BTC. It looked like it was consolidating and it was still tracking with the fractal, but it looked like it was basically doing it a lot faster, like the algorithm speeded up a little bit. So I condensed the fractal and I came up with this, ladies and gentlemen, and it's very, very telling on what we could potentially see. So you see all of these buy orders here around that 88, 89K level, all the way down to about 80K, where we found a potential floor. Okay, that's the first thing. We also have this higher low setup, okay, which is the same higher low setup on the fractal. All right, I want you guys to keep that in mind. So it looks like Bitcoin is potentially going to be able to consolidate above this 80K range and potentially push back up for 100K. And look how even the fractal shows us going to above 100K using it as support, and then we would blast off back up to new all-time highs. Now, if Bitcoin were able to do that, XRP could easily go back up to new all-time highs. So do not get shaken out. XRP inflows are going crazy. We're also seeing more ETFs come into play. Do not get shaken out. We're also seeing Trump still talking about wanting to be the crypto capital of the world and bringing crypto industry into the USA. So this is all very, very bullish things, even though there's a lot of fear and prices going down. That's normally signs that fundamentals are detached and we could actually see some bullishness. A lot of excess liquidity got flushed out of the market, and we did need to see a drawdown on crypto. You do need to shake people out, but I believe we're about to start seeing recovery, in my personal opinion, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Bitcoin move back up towards 100K. Now, if Bitcoin does get back above 100K and use that level of support, that is a definite sign of recovery. And just look how cleanly the fractal comes up, uses 100K as support, and moves up. So there's a lot of things showing that this fractal could be happening right now as we speak. And I want you guys to notice that this is the same fractal that we've been using this whole entire time. The same one that gave me the 115, 125 price targets and 80 and 100K price targets. Well, the falling wedge also helped with that as well, and some of the other technicals, because I use technicals as well with the fractal. But when the technicals, the support and resistance, all of these things line up, that is a very good indication that the fractal is valid. And this is the same fractal here that's been playing out. And if I were to continue it, it would show us actually going all the way up, making a new all-time high, and then potentially pulling back for a deeper bear market. But that means we're gonna get another rally up, and potentially that's when that altcoin season could come, and things like XRP, ETH, Cardano ADA, some of the coins that haven't popped off could actually start to run as well. So all is not lost for the crypto market. We are in the mini bear market. Like I said, I told you guys we're going to be coming down, but those potential 60 to 75K, 80K price targets that I gave, those bearish price targets, might not come till much, much later, especially if we can get back up towards 100K. And right now, BTC is showing us that that's very, very possible. It has support here at 92K, and if it continues to hold that, it's going to start moving up. And we're getting to the point now that we're getting to this sloping support and resistance, and it looks like we could break back above the bull market trend line. So if we saw a break back above the bull market trend line, that means bull market's back on, and we could see a major recovery. We have a bullish hammer candle on the weekly time frame. We were deep in the oversold conditions, a lot of fear, so there's a lot of indications that crypto is actually going to recover. So again, I think Bitcoin is probably going to continue up, in my personal opinion. I think XRP could absolutely explode. I think it's one of the coins that are set up to do major moves. I think Ethereum is as well, but I think XRP is set up to potentially do something special and head towards 450, maybe even much, much higher. So this is what I'm looking at for Bitcoin and crypto, giving you guys a little bit of news, backstory, information, and technicals. We've been very, very accurate here on cryptocurrency. You guys want to hit like and subscribe to get those accurate predictions, price targets, and technicals. If you were to see Bitcoin go back up, Ethereum would definitely hit 5K as well. If you were to see Bitcoin go up towards new all-time highs, or even back up towards like 115, you could easily see Ethereum go way past 5K as well. So again, very, very bullish. All is not lost for the crypto market, and I believe we could potentially even see a rally coming here soon, heading into the future. So this is what we're looking at for stocks and crypto. This was your daily outlook and prediction. If you made it to the end, thank you. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Check out the merch store if you want to support the channel in a different way, or drop a super chat on the live stream. These are recorded live, so you guys can check out the live stream for information, technicals as they go out. But if you don't want to do any of that, just make sure you guys have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out, fam.